Yeah.
Okay.
Open the Conservation Commission meeting for March 26th. We'll do
Recording in progress.
roll call. Richard, you want to let us?
Richard is
All
here.
right, that's good.
Louis Pugas here.
Mark LePage is present.
Michael Ryan?
Roger Trahan.
Matt?
Nicole Sharon-Monty.
Oh, hey, Nicole, how you doing?
Good.
And Matt Stoltz is here.
Hey, Matt. All right. With that, we will open our first public hearing, which is the NOI for Nicholas Drive Prospect Street. We did have a request for continuance. I don't know if we have anybody here. Just making sure. Any comments, questions from the public? All right. With that, Roger, you want to give us a motion to continue the NOI for Nicholas Drive Prospect Street culvert repair to April 9th at 7:01.
I'll make a motion to continue the hearing for Nicholas Drive / Prospect Street culvert repair until April 9th at 7:01.
All right.
Second.
All right, vote to continue.
Vote to continue.
Votes continue.
Continue?
Continue.
Nicole?
Continue.
Matt?
Continue.
All right,
Continue.
Motion's continue, that's good. All right, our next NOI is for Symphony Drive, Tanglewood Estates. Good evening.
Evening, Mr. Chairman.
Good to see you again. How you doing?
Thank you. I have a little bit of a cold, so I apologize in advance
Oh, man.
for my voice.
So, looks like you were able to move the house out of the 100, right? What I saw.
Yes.
Thank you.
So we, if you want, I could just go over some of the changes we made.
Perfect, that'd be great, yeah.
So we've, you know, as of from our meeting 2 weeks ago, we took away the issues that the commission wanted us to address. And I, you know, what we did is, one of the items we added, and it's on sheet 2.1 of your plan set, we added a transect that includes the whole wetland from the wetland line to the 100-foot buffer line. And we included 3-inch trees or above, within about 5 feet of that line. We tried to pick a line that had some trees so you could see what was there. So we added that to sheet 2.1. And it actually starts at flag A11. That gives you an idea, that gives you an idea of the trees.
2.1.
2.1.
Sheet 2.1, yes. I like this wall set.
I'm getting older, I appreciate these prints.
That's true.
So this is.
Okay.
So we added that transect.
Yep.
And the next item that we talked about, if you go to sheet 4 of the plan set,
Yep.
most of the talking will be on sheet 4 here. We took the yard, the backyard, and we moved that out of the buffer zone. So now, the limit of
Might have,
work,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
We're creating noise, moving the papers around, so I don't think you're able to be heard on.
No problem.
So just give us a second to settle our paperwork.
No problem.
All right, now you're good, sorry.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So sheet 4, one of the issues the commission wanted was to make sure the backyard was out of the buffer zone. So we moved the backyard out of the buffer zone, and the limit of clearing and limit of grading, as you can see, that's that red line along the 50-foot buffer zone in there. And we started the grading at that point and worked up, and I'll talk about that in a sec. We moved the house outside of the 100-foot buffer zone, so that required us to move the house forward, which is what we did. And then it also, that and part of our discussions with the town engineer and Beta, we had a meeting with them. So our meeting with you was on Thursday. And then the next Monday, we had met with the town engineer and Beta and gone over some other things that they asked us to do. So it kind of worked out. We picked up that basin a bit, but we also picked up the house a bit in order to, which we had to do anyways. I think I just talked to the commission about it. What we were trying to do is hit that backyard grade so we wouldn't have to fill the backyard. But if we push the house closer to the street, we also have to work with the grade. We can't have a ski slope down into the garage. So we ended up picking up the house a bit. But we did move the entire house outside of the buffer zone.
Yeah, thank you, I saw that.
Sheet 4, same sheet 4. If you look along, now it's gonna be hard for me, right in the kind of this area here, in the backyard, we added 3 monuments. We added 3 concrete bounds.
Yep.
Like one on the left, one in the middle, and one on the right of where this person's yard is gonna be. And that's along the 50-foot buffer zone. And, you know, we'll get the wording and the plaques from your professional staff. So those will stick up 6 inches. They're not obnoxious, but they're there so that people will know that they don't go beyond this. And I think that was something that was asked. And then the other item which was requested was along the south side of the basin, which is down in this area here, we had a line of arborvitaes, and there was a request to get rid of those and perhaps change them to some natives. So we went with red cedars, native hollies, or dogwoods. We kept the density the same, planted them 10 feet on center, so there's 9 of them. Really only one of them is within your jurisdiction, but we changed them all.
Thank you.
It was a request. So those were the items that I had on my notes that we changed the plan. We also got today at 1 o'clock a letter from Beta on the review, and I went through that, and I looked through some of the issues that were brought up, and we can, however you want to deal with it, Mr. Chairman, I don't know if you want to go through them item by item, the ones that are left, or I can, I've made notes of them. They're actually very few, they're just the same thing said over and over again. But however you want to handle it, because I'd really like to just finish up tonight.
So, yeah, so we haven't seen that review yet, but I'd love to hear your input.
Sure.
You know, what I would say is, I think, which was your second request, if there was issues that seemed were different than what we've discussed or addressed, would love, again, we haven't seen it, right? So you'd be giving us information, would love to hear your input on
Sure.
it. So as we're reviewing the notes, we've already got your input. Does that kind of make sense?
That'd be perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
So we, going through them, I see several times it was listed in there that the limit of clearing and work wasn't clear to them. I think it's very clear. If you look on sheet 4 in red, and on sheet 7, I think it's even clearer because sheet 7 is not as busy. We give the limit of clearing on the entire project, which is a dashed line, and in the areas where we're putting silt stock, that's a solid line. Limit of clearing is labeled on the dashed. Silt stock is also labeled on the solid lines. So that is the limit of work and that is the limit of clearing. There was a comment in there about the tree line, the future tree line wasn't delineated. Well, future tree line is the limit of work. You know, the whole area is treed right now except for the southeast corner next to our neighbor on the right on Symphony Drive, but everything else is treed. So the limit of work and the silt stock are the new tree line. And you can see that on sheets 4 and 7. There was a comment about they wanted us to have weekly inspections of stone pads, silt socks. That was already included in the initial submittal on sheet C.2, C-2 of the appendix of the stormwater report of the operation and maintenance plan for the construction period. It calls for weekly inspections of the stone pad and silt socks, and any problems have to be fixed immediately.
Could you give me that, sorry,
Sure.
I'm just taking some notes, that where that is again?
It's on Appendix C
Yep,
of the stormwater report. It's the operation and maintenance plan for construction period. There's 2 operation and maintenance plan. One is for construction period, and one is for, you know, long-term operations.
okay,
once they're done.
thanks.
There was a questioning the fact that we didn't give, but it's the seed types. So on our plan, on sheet 4 again, if you look on the upper left corner, this note has been there. We talk about the area within the buffer zone shall have the original Jonathan Green Black Beauty seed mix. And as I explained the last time we were here, we like that mix, or commissions seem to like that mix when you're near like water bodies, because it requires minimal maintenance. It doesn't require you to kill it with fertilizer. So we call for that, and then outside of those areas, outside of the buffer zone areas, it's just a regular seed mix. And that's, I think to me, is pretty clear, but it wasn't clear. There was some comments about it wasn't clear to them. So it's on sheet 4, it's up there, it's been there.
Could you just, Bricolai, do you have a comment on that?
So Jonathan Green Black Beauty seed mix is not like your conservation wildlife seed mix. It's a non-native. It is grass. Just to clarify for the commission,
Would
I
you be
actually had
open
to Google it.
A native mix that we could suggest?
Isn't that a native mix? I'm just asking.
Not per Google.
Okay.
It's tall fescue seed varieties like Kentucky bluegrass, and Kentucky's not from Massachusetts. Not to be smart or fresh, but so I don't know the rest of the seed mixes, but it's definitely not a native seed grass or grass seed mix.
If there is a certain seed mix you want us to use, just tell us.
All right.
I'm not,
Okay.
I was just trying to be sensitive to the fact that we're in the buffer zone. But whatever you want us to use, fine
So
by me.
we could look at conditioning a seed
That's
mix.
fine.
Yep.
Okay,
That's fine.
all right, that's a solution. Thank you for being open to that.
Yep. There was some question about the basin plantings, which I just talked about.
Yep, we got that.
Which we've put that on there,
Yep.
and number and type, they're shown on the plan.
Yep,
There was some talk about they wanted the Latin wording of the different shrubs and trees, and I guess we could add that in there if you want, but I don't know about you, but when I go to the store, I don't quote the Latin. But
We needed to have the Latin name of them on here?
that's what the consultant is asking for. So if you want that, we'll do it, but
That's a little strong.
yes, I wouldn't disagree. And I think these are the issues. I mean, they were pretty, same thing said multiple times about limit of clearing, seed types, plantings.
so just before we lose it, and then I know, Michael, you had a question. Bricolai, you had your hand up, was that a comment on the Latin?
Yeah, the only reason for that, commissioners, is historically, if contractor were to bring these plans to a nursery and they just see oak, they could get any type of oak instead of a specific type of oak that you would want. So that is where that scientific name definitely comes into play, or sometimes you would see a red maple, for example, and it may be Acer rubrum, the native one, but you bring it to a nursery and all of a sudden now you have Japanese red maple. So that is why there is a benefit to delineating exactly what type of species you want, because common name is ambiguous. Up to you, again, it's something that can be conditioned, or the review of the species can be conditioned after the fact, but I just wanted to let you know that there is a reason why that recommendation is in there.
We could add that as a
Okay.
condition, that's not a problem.
Thank you. All right, that just makes it easier to move forward. Great, all right. Thank you, Bricolai. Michael, did you?
Thanks, yeah. Just regarding that row of plantings to block out the view of the drainage basin, just pointing out that dogwoods probably won't do a great job of blocking out the view, if that's their intent. That's all.
We originally wanted arborvitaes because they grow high and they grow together and stuff, but
Right.
but again, we're open to whatever
Yeah.
you like. That was just quoted to us at the last hearing, so.
Yeah, that was our, yeah.
And really, I don't think, like you can see it, it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. it's about, the house next door is 8 to 10 feet above the basin. So if you're even on the first floor looking out the window, nothing's gonna really block it, you know, it's gonna be tough. Let's soften it. That's really
Yeah,
what you're looking at
okay.
there.
All right. So, any thoughts on the tree line limit of work? I mean, I do feel like we went through that between the silt sock and silt fence. Maybe I'll lean on you for a second, Louis, I hope you don't mind, as kind of our plans expert. I mean, you feel that?
That we captured it in this? Yeah, I see it. I mean, it's in red, so.
Okay.
They-
All right.
Yeah. Even I can see it.
All right.
Um,
I mean, any other,
It looks good.
okay.
You made
Okay.
concessions, I appreciate
Sounds like he tried to do everything we asked him.
it. Yeah.
So, yeah, Bricolai, any other comments from you on this or that?
Just that, Nicole has her hand raised.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't, Nicole.
That's okay. I couldn't hear, when you were talking about the riprap, it was a little muffled, but I did have a question about the riprap outlet. Is that going to be treated water that's being in that outflow, or is it just water coming from the basin?
So that is treated water. It goes through the treatment train to the site. And so it goes through a regular, I think in this particular case, it's going through a drain manhole. There's also I should know this. Yes, so it goes into what it does, it goes into the basin, it goes into a sediment forebay, and then it's infiltrated, and then anything that's not infiltrated for the really big storms, it doesn't all go in, it goes out. So by the time you have it exiting, it's 80% total suspended solids removal, which meets the standard.
Yes, I'm sorry, there was some noise, so I didn't hear that. You said during a big rain event, I'm sorry, I missed that part
That's
that you
okay.
said.
So it's designed to capture and infiltrate the 100-year storm event, and then anything above that, it will discharge. But even the stuff that's discharging, the higher storms, that water is still treated prior to discharge. So it's stopped in the sediment forebay, so it goes into the basin. There's a rock wall there. It's just riprap lying there. That slows it down. It allows sediment to come out. It goes through the riprap. It's not solid. Then it goes into the basin itself, or the larger portion of the basin. Their infiltration takes place in there, but some fraction of it will not infiltrate for the larger storms, and then it will discharge. But you do have what's 80% total suspended solids removal, which meets the standard.
Thank you.
Just a follow-on question on that.
Yes.
I think last time we did talk about planting some plantings downgrade from those ripraps.
I didn't make a note of that. What are we talking about at the, on the back end?
Yeah, like sedges or something, right at the outflow, between the riprap and the resource area. I thought we had talked about that.
If we did, I apologize, I missed it. So at the outflow of riprap, what are we looking for?
Just some type of, like sedges or something that would help with, slow down the flow and do a little bit more of mitigation
Okay,
of the solids.
yep, we can add that.
Thanks.
I think was just looking through.
Yeah, I don't know if we had talked about just at the base of the riprap or like all along that slope.
We can do that.
Yeah, I took a note.
Okay. Yeah, that's.
I'll talk to Brickley about what type, or you can put it in the order, whatever it is you want. Doesn't-
If I can pop in, yeah, we can put it in the order. It's any vegetation that does phytoremediation. That's what the commission's looking for.
Okay.
Thank you, Bricola.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, so, so potentially too, we could just condition, and I think we get the point, but just to ensure that the silt socks and fencing represents the limits of work, right? We could just condition that to clean that up. We got the transection, potentially condition, I think you're right, we talked about something downgrade or the riprap to help filter and slow down. You're gonna provide the Latin wording for the, or the species specific species designation. We'll take a look at the weekly inspection notes in the appendix of the stormwater. Just trying to think of anything else we might want to catch there.
We have the signs. That's the last thing.
I'm sorry?
We have the signs.
Oh, the signs, yes, yes. Yep, yep, we'll provide those. And that all sound amenable to what we've talked about?
Yes.
Just trying to think if there's anything else for. Yeah, so, and where the catch basin is, right, it's grading down to the 50-foot, no yard there, right? I think, when we look at that slope.
Yes.
Okay. It's
So-
the one is outside of the 50 now, as we discussed, the house is outside of the 100. Okay. Anything else you guys can think we're missing? Matt or Nicole?
One of the abutters spoke up, I don't know if it was last meeting, no, I do know, it was on the 15th of January. They were concerned that, once the house gets sold, that maybe the drainage basin wouldn't be maintained. I don't know if there's anything to be done about that. It's not like we're gonna check up on it
Right.
10 years down the road, but I don't know, is there a industry best practice on how that gets managed?
So we, as I said, we met Monday with Mike and Beta, and a lot of the discussion was stormwater. Because the people downstream, of course, are nervous. They live at the bottom of a hill. They already have told us at the hearings that they've had issues in the past with runoff that they've had to deal with. So we spent a lot of time talking about that. One of the things that was brought up was exactly what you just said. And this is going to be a private, it's really just a glorified driveway. So it's a private roadway. So it will be under a homeowners association or something similar to that. And what we said is, and don't quote me, I'm pretty sure this is what the recommendation was that the planning board would review the homeowners association document, or the town council would, to make sure it addressed the issues that you were talking about. So things like, they have to plow the road. Even the portion of it, there's like a 25 or 30-foot portion of the road that's in the town layout, that's still the responsibility of the HOA. The HOA is also responsible for maintaining the stormwater system. So that was some of the things that they wanted to see in that. So we did address it. Is there a way to absolutely make sure of it? Probably not. But people, if it's in an HOA, there's probably a more likely chance that that will be taken care of because you're paying for it as part of your homeowner's fees. I don't know how else we do it, open to suggestions, but that's normally how we see it.
So the other thing we talked about last meeting, and that's why it's good you brought back up, something along the lines of the sedges is traditionally where we look to go is make sure that the vegetation is 75% grown in terms of coverage, right? So I think it's good that we talk through that being a native wildlife mix instead of that grass mix, right? Because that'll be planted, I would imagine, on the downside slope of that, right? So that's in the buffer zone. As we talked about, hey, is there a possibility for, O&M plan, but with residential, I mean, it's tough. So, but I do think, having, at least, doing what we can, the right seed mix, the downstream things like sedges, and making sure they've grown, and I think that'll tell the tale of the tape too, a little bit in terms of erosion. But I'm certainly open to other ideas, but at least we talked about that. Kind of a tough spot, right?
I would imagine too, if there is an issue, the neighbors would bring it up to the town, and
Yep.
that's when the HOA, is it just 2 houses in the HOA? Yeah.
Yes.
But we brought to them.
You want to bring up the ugly little problem of stormwater basins turning into,
Wetlands. Yeah.
so in 10, 15 years, you won't have to worry about cleaning it out because you won't be able to, you won't be able to touch the bloody thing.
Yeah.
Well, the upper basin is, it's not an infiltration basin, it's just a detention basin. It's probably a lot of rock there. And we have
If you got a lot of grass and polywogs growing in there, guess what?
a pipe is at the bottom. So we've put a pipe at the bottom to hold that. That should drain. And then the lower one, we've
Okay.
designed that as an infiltration.
It's not a problem for this meeting.
No, I understand. I'm just trying
It
to,
might raise its ugly head sometime.
Oh, it always
when I'm
does.
dead and gone. but
it always does.
That's the way those features tend to go.
I know.
You're right. Okay. I mean, any other thoughts on that, Michael? I mean, it's a great question. We talked about it last meeting too. It's just tough to solve.
One of the other things we did, if you don't mind,
No,
we spent a
please.
lot of time talking about phasing this project so that we don't just cut everything down and denude the slope on day one. Which in this particular case, like I think I talked about before, there's a significant drop from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
So again, we sat down with Mike and the Beta engineer and went through, and we broke it down into different phases of how we're going to do this. There'd be phase one, we'll be cutting down, the road, and then to the basin to the right, and then the lot to the left, because that lot, we're gonna be taking the material from that lot and bringing it down to the road and moving it. And then we're going to cut the basin, but we're not gonna stump it yet. We're gonna let that sit to provide, again, some, a barrier upstream and downstream. Then we're gonna go in and build the basin. And then last, we'll go in and cut what we call phase 3, if you're looking at sheet 7. And that's the house to the right. So we're gonna try and break it down into phases in order to minimize the possibility of sediment migrating off the site or into the storm, or into the wetland. In addition to silt socks and all the other things, sediment basins, there'll be sediment basins on the site that capture runoff as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Nicole or Matt, anything further from you guys?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Pretty
Nothing
live?
here.
Okay. Comments from anybody on Zoom or in chambers? Okay. So we'll take a look at the report from Beta, see if we can put together conditions based on that, and see if we can have something prepared for the next meeting, unless we run into something that's different than what we discussed, and everybody's comfortable with that,
Yeah.
different than what we discussed. We'd have to take a look at the beta report, but based on what you described, sounds like we could manage through that with conditions, but just reserve the right if we run into something, we'll let you know before the meeting if we do. Is that,
That would be great.
okay.
That way we can make whatever modifications you need. So tonight, so I have to go back to the planning board next week. Or is it next week? 2 weeks. And they're always, they will not close their hearing until they've heard from you.
Yeah,
So,
so we're here next on the 9th, right? Like I said, the goal is to have conditions the way we discussed, unless we run into anything unforeseen out of the beta report that, when we take a look at it.
And you meet with them on the 6th, I'm guessing.
of course,
Yeah.
okay.
If the commission is amenable to this, and since it's on record, that way Greg, Chair Rondo, apologies, can review, I can let him know, and Amy Love, the town planner, that you are gearing to approve. Sometimes the planning board, knowing that the commission is for sure going to approve at the subsequent meeting, will approve before Concom.
So what would we be,
I'm seeking your blessing to tell them that we're drafting conditions and at the subsequent
I'm
meeting.
comfortable with that, yeah, I mean, that's what we're talking about, so, yeah, Nicole, Matt, you good with that?
Okay, then that's what I can do. I'll let,
By then,
the town.
whether we have any,
Yeah, I mean, that's, yeah, we'll, yeah, 100%, we'll know next week. So, all right, that'll be the plan, maybe that'll help out with
That'd be
planning.
very helpful,
We
thank
can-
you.
Yeah, okay. Good recommendation, Bricolai, thank you. Okay, so move forward is, we'll let them know that we're working on conditions, we'll look to get that done, give you a heads up if we see any issues, don't anticipate it, but just to be sure, and then be back on the 9th to look at that.
Great.
All right, it was helpful, thanks for making all the moves we requested, it certainly helps expedite things.
My pleasure,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
All right, thanks for coming in tonight. So, Michael, you want to give us a motion to continue the NOI for Symphony Drive, Tanglewood Estates to April 9th at 7:02?
I'll give you a motion to continue the NOI for Symphony Drive, Tanglewood Estates 2 to April 9th at 7:02.
Second,
All right,
vote to continue.
Let's continue.
continue.
Continue?
continue.
Nicole,
Continue.
Matt?
Continue.
All right, motion's continued. Great. Next we have up is the NOI for 670 King Street. Good to see you again. Looks like we got a
Put the number.
DEP number, no comments, that makes life pretty easy.
I do, I got it all here. You guys got it also?
Yes, so we,
Okay.
so we saw that. We had written up some conditions as we talked about. So we go through that, and then the goal would be to take a vote. One question that came up, and we put it in the conditions to hopefully address it. What's the status of any water that's currently in the pool? Didn't think to ask that last time. Is there water currently in it?
There is.
Okay. And what are the plans to,
I was planning on just slowly letting it out.
okay.
It shouldn't have any chemicals in it anymore, it should all be burned off just from sitting.
So, one thing we like to do to just be sure is let it sit uncovered in the sun for 5 to 10 days. That just makes sure,
It has been uncovered since the fall.
okay, okay,
Summer, actually, it's been a year.
okay, all right. All right, so any thoughts, any concerns with that?
Sounds like enough time.
So maybe what we do is, we just want to, so how are you going to get the water out of there?
Poke a little hole in the bottom.
Okay. So, what's that, right?
So that'll do it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So you're going to put a hole in and let the water run out into the ground? because of
Correct.
groundwater. Okay. All
So the last time you've added anything must have been last fall?
Yeah,
Chemical-wise.
late summer, yep,
Yeah,
probably September,
yeah. Was it a saltwater pool or chlorinated?
chlorinated.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we good with that? Okay. Any other
I'm good.
questions or thoughts? All right. Bricolai, do you want to go through the conditions or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So I would recommend permit approval with standard special conditions 20 through 22, 24 through 44. Commissioners, please note, special condition 33 deals with clean fill. 46 through 51, and special condition 52, which I still think even though this was addressed, commissioners, let me know if you would like to omit. Special condition 52, if the pool wastewater has not been appropriately disposed of when this order is issued, the applicant shall follow these steps. 52.1, dechlorination, let water sit in the sun for 5 to 10 days without adding chemicals or use a chemical dechlorinator. 52.2, method, discharge slowly to turf or vegetated areas to prevent erosion. Do not drain directly to wetlands, streams, or into the street. 52.3, subsurface disposal, directing to a septic system is generally prohibited unless specifically designed and approved. 52.4, storm drains, it is a violation to discharge chlorinated water into municipal storm drains as it can harm fish and wildlife. And 52.5, timing, drain slowly, approximately per 24 hours to prevent flooding.
All right. All acceptable?
Absolutely.
All right, so, and we talked about clean fill, that's where you were gonna put in aggregate into the.
Correct.
In the fill. Okay. So, if that's amenable, any other thoughts or comments? You good?
No, I think we're all right.
All right, good. Any questions or comments from anybody in the room or on Zoom? All right. With that, Michael, you want to give us a motion to approve the NOI for 670 King Street with conditions as stated? Actually, I'm sorry, we have to close the public hearing. I faked you out. Give us a motion to close the public hearing on 670 King Street.
I'll give you a motion to close the public hearing for the NOI for 670 King Street.
Second.
All right,
Vote to close.
Vote to close.
vote to close.
Close?
Close.
Nicole?
Close?
Matt?
Close.
All right, the NOI is closed. All right, now we get the motion to approve.
Give you a motion to approve the NOI for 670 King Street.
Second.
All right,
Vote to approve.
Vote to approve.
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 Nicole
Approve?
and Matt.
Approve.
All right, motion's approved. Thanks for your patience and working with us. Appreciate it.
Very good,
Good luck
thank
getting
you.
your shop done. Okay.
So do I have to do anything next? Just go to the building inspector and talk to him about the rest of the permit? That's just the next step?
Yeah. and Go ahead, recollect.
Go ahead, if you wanted to finish. I didn't mean to interrupt. So I actually have your building permit pulled up in front of me. So it looks like everybody else has signed off but myself and Gus. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to write in a comment that you need to install your erosion controls and then they need to be inspected. Once they're inspected, then I can sign off on your building permit. And then you should be able to move forward.
Who do I talk to about the erosion control?
So it would be me.
And right downstairs?
You can email me or you can comment in your portal for your permit.
And just say that
It
it's
looks
all
like,
ready?
what was that? Yep, you can just say they're all ready.
Okay.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you gonna come out, or do I just take pictures, or?
I would come out.
Okay, very good.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, have a good day, everybody.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks.
All right. Next is the NOI for Lewis Street. We did have this afternoon a request to continue the NOI for Lewis Street. Just want to make sure we don't have anybody that came in for that. Any comments, public or Zoom, chambers or Zoom? All right, we'll shake it up here. Matt, you want to give us a motion to continue the NOI for Lewis Street to April 9th? It'll now be at 7:03 PM. It's moving up the roster.
Happy to do it. I would give you a motion to continue the NOI for Lewis Street to April 9th at 7:03 PM.
Second,
All right,
vote to continue.
Let's continue.
go to continue.
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 Yep, Matt.
Continue.
All right, motion's continued. And then our final NOI of the evening is for 47 Partridge Street. Do we have anybody online for 47 Partridge Street? I know we're still, looks like we got, yep, Danny Lewis. He's got his hand up. Still are waiting for the beta review on that. All right, Danny, it looks like you're live. You with us, Danny?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yeah, how are you?
Okay, good, how are you?
Excellent.
Rick was gonna try to join tonight from United Consultants, but I guess we're just trying to get an idea on where the review is. Seems like it's been going on for a long time. The notice of intent was filed back in February 12th. The scope for peer review was received on the 26th of February. The fees were paid, and we haven't heard anything since. The planning board has pretty much had all their items resolved as of March 4th, and we've had to continue. And I guess we're at the point where we have some contractual obligations, and some people are looking for some answers, and we haven't heard anything since, I think, the fees have been paid back at the beginning of March. And I don't think as of today, there's been no reports. I know that Chris Frateroli has not received anything back from Beta on their review. DEP did their review, and that was completed as of the 12th of March. So I guess we're just looking to see, timing-wise, where we're at.
Rico, I see you've got your hand up.
Yeah, so I know that this project was filed with the commission actually at the end of the planning board. Like, planning board was ready to approve, and then it was filed with Concom. So typically, projects are filed concurrently, so we're not stuck in this waiting game. You're right, DEP just provided comments at the last meeting for the commission. So those comments are still in review, they're still in beta review. And unfortunately, because of the weather, now we are definitely catching up on field work, but there has been a significant backlog since field work and site visits have had to take a pause due to all the snow. So we are unfortunately still waiting for beta review, but again, DEP only just provided comments within the last 2 weeks, and here we are. So what I can do is I can give beta a call tomorrow and see where we're at, but this isn't outside of the normal trajectory of where a project is.
So that's the situation, Danny.
No, I appreciate it. I know we went through the ANRAD, the line was established, a long time ago, so, I understand. We just have some people that we have to answer to, that are getting a little bit antsy, so.
All right, so we'll check in
I
on
appreciate
that.
it.
We'll check in on that for you, see if we get an update.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else, Danny?
I think that's it.
Okay. Any questions, comments from the commissioners? Comments, questions from public, Zoom or otherwise? All right, with that, Nicole, you want to give us a motion to continue the NOI for 47 Partridge Street to April 9th at 7:04? No, we did 7:03. That was Lewis Street.
Lewis Street? Okay.
So now we're at 7:04.
Or
7:04,
Oh,
yes.
okay. I thought,
You're trying to check, test.
I'm trying to, on your toes here.
That's good, 7:04?
7:04.
I give a motion to continue the NOI for 47 Partridge Street for 7:04 on April 9th.
Great.
Second?
All right.
Vote to continue.
Vote to continue.
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 Nicole?
Continue.
Great.
Continue.
Matt?
Continue.
All right, motion's continued. All right, that concludes our public hearings. We've got a MBZA for 561 Lincoln Street. Do we have anybody here from 561 Lincoln? Oh, hello.
Yes, hi. How are you?
Very well. How you doing? Thanks for coming in
Sure.
to take the time to go through it with us, so appreciate that. You must be Margaret, right?
Yeah.
All right, can you just give us a quick thumbnail overview of, this is after the fact, but
Yes.
just kind of what happened and what
Sure.
the rationale was? That'd be helpful if you don't mind.
Sure.
Thanks.
I recently purchased the property in October, so possibly, the complaint might have been that to educate me on what I can and can't do at 561 Lincoln Street. When I moved in, there was some trees in the front of the house that I had question about, so I went on Angie's list and I got a tree removal person from the area, and he came and he recommended that they were removed because of falling on my property, you know, things like, I don't know if he used the term dead tree, but he used it, that it was a hazard to the property. And again, it was in the front, which is the street side on Lincoln Street. And then I received something in the mail that said I didn't follow the proper steps. And so, through that, I'm here.
How many trees did you cut down?
2.
2? Did you leave the stumps or you just stump it?
There's a very little bit of a stump.
Okay. What were they? Pines or maples or oaks?
I'm not sure.
Good.
No, it wasn't a pine. Other than a pine, I would not, yeah.
Okay.
But again, it was recommended that, one was leaning very much over, and the other one, he had said, there was no vegetation on it, it was
Oh, there was.
leaves or anything like that, no.
No leaves on
It was
it?
just, it appeared, very good.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, so it looks like there, based on where the trees must have been, there was some wetland features there, but, you know, hey, you know, you get a recommendation from the tree removal service. Typically, they'll catch this, that you need to talk to COMCOM, but we appreciate you coming here even after the fact and explaining it to us and, you know, trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, and that's it. I just want you to know that I tried to do the right thing.
Yep. So any questions other than that from the commission? Bricolage did give it administrative approval, so, you know, after the fact here, it seems.
I just wonder, is like, maybe that the tree company needs a little education. They should have known to,
That's not a bad idea.
I don't know if there's anything we can do, but.
Well, it's
if
good to
near
give them a
a
heads
wetland,
up.
Yeah.
Actually, do you remember the name of the tree company?
If I'm pronouncing it correctly, I think it was Vasquez, Vasquez.
We could send them a little note saying.
Yeah,
you know,
just,
guys,
hey, heads up, you know, something you guys should be aware of. I mean, yeah, it doesn't hurt to give them a heads up.
Most of them know, but some of them
Yeah.
don't mention it.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay. All right, that's a good idea. Nicole or Matt, any questions from you guys? Okay. So, since you've had administrative approval of Bricolage, I think we still are better off procedurally just approving the MBZA, right? Yeah. So, Richard, Richard, you want to give us a motion to approve the MBZA for 561 Lincoln Street?
Sure. I give you a motion to approve the MBZA for 561 Lincoln Street
All right.
Second?
Vote to approve.
Vote to approve.
Approve?
Approve.
Approve.
Nicole? Matt?
Approve.
All right, Margaret, you all set?
Thank you.
Appreciate you taking the time to
Thank you.
explain it
Thank
to
you
us.
all.
All right,
All right, have a
good
good
job.
night.
See ya.
All right, next we're on to permit modifications for 160 Maple Street, Maplegate South. Do we have anybody, looks like we do have somebody here from Maplegate.
Hello?
How are you?
Hey, doing well, how you doing?
Good.
All right. Yes, I'm here today representing Helios Energy. We're going to be the general contractor out here on the Maplegate Solar Project.
Yep.
Essentially, what we were running into when we brought to this meeting today, the logistics and layout of the site, specific for Maple 3, which is the southern part of the site, it is cut off by the wetlands. And I don't know, I can't share my screen. Great. Much easier to talk through
We
the
just
vision
give you
here.
the, yeah.
Stand by.
There you go. So I initially had brought this up to Becky Lee, and she invited me to this panel to come kind of present this and present the situation that we're kind of running into here. So I'm not as familiar enough with what everyone knows in relation to the project, but a little bit of the background on it is everywhere in this yellow area is going to be our zone of limitation. And the solar array is going to be obviously within here. It's not everywhere, but it's within this zone here. Essentially, looking at these different boundary points here and all the way up here and coming up to right here, that is all wetlands area. It's really thick. You really couldn't get through there with any kind of construction vehicles. Currently, the golf course, they have a couple of small wooden bridges that were obviously built for golf carts. When we start getting into, the tree removal and those kind of bigger pieces of equipment, there's just no way you could use a golf cart path for that. So essentially, we came to the best determination and the best way to make the most minimal impact on the environment in order to gain access to this side of the property while we're already on site and doing construction work. Right here, and I have another visual look, but just to give an idea, there's an existing 8-foot cart path. Let me hide my notes here so you can see it a little better. So that area that was highlighted in blue on the last page, this is a real look at it. There's currently about an 8-foot wide cart path that goes through here. You have a 12-inch concrete culvert that is helping with the water mitigation in the wetlands area here. Essentially what we're proposed and would like to do, put my notes back here. What we would like to do is install these things called mega decks. It's pretty much, you piece it together and you can drive heavy construction equipment over it. The whole intent of them is to minimize the impacts to wetlands areas.
Quick question, what are those made out of?
It's an HDPE material.
HDPE.
Yeah.
I
So it's like a heavy-duty dense plastic material.
Yep, okay, thanks.
Yeah, I've used them before.
They're common to use when you're in situations like this. So essentially what we'd like to do is to gain access to that whole backside of the property. We would like to, there's going to have to be some degree of modification here. It's hard to say an exact determination. But what we'd say is we're doing as the least amount of impact as possible to the wetlands area. But the means and methods of it would be to do some minimal grading, some structural backfilling in areas that would not affect the wetlands, laying out some, 8 by 10 foot steel plates, and then putting those mega deck HDPE materials over the top of it. The intent would be to maintain the culvert, install an additional culvert if needed, and then ultimately, once we have access to the side of the property, this is only going to be a temporary feature to be used for a couple of months during construction. The final proposed use and the final proposed access road will include a structural culvert, about 30 feet wide, 30 feet long. But that takes a lot of time and effort to obviously engineer, put together, install, and structurally make it sound, right? You have to let it sit for a while to cure. So for a means of impact to the wetlands area, for the logistics of the site, we put this plan together to try to see if it would be approved to be a means and methods to help us with our construction project.
So this proposed road gets into the wetlands, or is it just a cart path that expanded a little bit?
We're essentially going to reuse as much of the cart path as we can.
Yeah.
But this area over here, if I hide my, you can see, this is one that was really, really wet in the wintertime. It's obviously, it's much, much less water here now.
Yeah.
But yeah, this area is classified and displayed as wetlands.
Okay.
I'm curious, we must have talked about this back when the original project was approved.
We did.
So what changed?
So what you likely talked about is, if I pull up these drawings here, and I give you a full overview of the project site here. This is the permanent culvert that's going to be getting installed as part of the project. That is much lower on the lower piece down here. The piece that we're proposing to right now is up here at this existing cart path. We're trying to mitigate this and impact this wetlands area up here to use as a means and methods to get to this side of the property while this is all being engineered and structurally being built and developed.
So you haven't engineered anything on the culvert, or?
It's in the process of being engineered right now.
Huh?
It's in the process of being engineered right now.
But is it gonna be cast in place or precast culvert?
It's intended to be precast right now.
Nicole, did you have a question, comment?
I did have a question. So the culvert that's currently there, you're saying, I'm sorry, could you tell me what the current size is?
I believe a 12-inch concrete culvert that is there.
And then the new one that you're proposing?
I would actually open that up. I'd be willing to make it whatever size is necessary for the site. It's hard for me to make that determination right now. We can make it a 12-inch, put it there as well. We can make it even bigger. I don't necessarily know if it would have to be bigger than that. We had two 12-inch culverts. But like I said, happy to make it bigger if needed.
Well, we would really need to know how much flow is going through there, right?
That one there.
Sure.
That's the one that
And then, I'm sorry?
I said sure. And I could take some photos of the existing conditions that are on site right now. Or we can measure it.
Measure the flow?
Sure, yeah.
Sorry, if I may, most of this should have been included in the original permit. I'm fairly certain it is. So,
Okay, this was before me, I don't know.
yeah, that's okay. So, and I know Andrew was not the one that was doing the original permit either.
Yeah.
So, I think for the topic of the culvert, before we start changing designs during this meeting, we can review what was originally permitted and the conditions for that. But let's focus on what's in front of us, at least for this temporary access mat, if possible,
Sure, yeah.
please.
Yeah, sorry. To clarify, we're not making any modifications to what was previously approved and being engineered and is still going to be getting installed.
Then I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, this is a new temporary road that we're proposing to have installed.
But you're gonna put this temporary road over the existing culvert, right?
Correct.
It's to bridge it right now.
Yeah, it's not, the intent is not to bury it. The intent is to continue to maintain it,
Yeah.
install an additional if required, and then to ultimately remove this. It's a temporary road to use for means and methods of construction.
You're expanding the road, essentially.
When you remove the road, the temporary road, what's gonna happen with the wetlands, with all the plants and whatnot underneath that road?
Yeah.
That was the other question I had.
I can actually answer that, Andrew, if you don't mind.
Yeah, by all means.
Thank you. So Nicole, this is actually pretty standard, utilizing either timber mats or like used tire mats or this composite material. The wetland does rebound, these mats are in place to actually stabilize and distribute weight of heavy machinery. And it also prevents compaction of soils.
Okay.
So, typically, the long-term impact would be if upon removal of the mats, there's any rutting, and then that's not smoothed out. Wetland plants do rebound. It's been demonstrated that wetland plants rebound pretty well underneath these mats. If not, then you could definitely compel the applicant to do some, there is a wetland seed mix or plugs, which is not typically heard of.
Yeah. Just to add on to that too, we're obviously, once we remove this, our plan is to mitigate and make the wetlands, bring it back to the exact state that it was before. We're doing a little bit of wetlands work throughout the project in different areas that's already been approved and permitted for. We have approved mixes and mixed designs and also wetlands plants that we're planting throughout the property as well. So if it does come to that, and it can get approved by the conservation after the fact as well, happy to do a site visit after the fact, and we can fix and mediate anything that we may have disrupted more than intended.
And with this permit modification, I actually would recommend the commission condition any ruts are fixed,
Sure.
eating things of that nature that I just mentioned. So that lends enforcement for the commission.
Thank you.
I did have
Yeah.
So Andrew, I think it was mentioned already, just, we'd like to get just a documentation of what this looks like right now, so we can see what, what it needs to be, ideally, it has, it can, to be close to at the final state to be, replicated the same way. One thing I was thinking about just on the plan itself, I know you kind of clouded the colored plan as far as like where you want to impact, but then you showed a nice drawing, a construction drawing there when you were showing the precast culvert.
You want to talk about this one
yeah,
here?
so really, if you go, I think it's on the north side. The north is, so where we're looking. Yeah, so that's where you're looking to disturb right now. So is there a way to it just kind of highlight, like box out the what that disturbance area looks like? You mentioned an 8x10 plate. But then that's just at the base, but you're going to extend it out with the HDPE further out. So can we have that just kind of also documented, how you're proposing that in construction?
The proposed size of the temp road would be about 20 feet wide.
Okay.
We would try to reuse as much of the existing car path as well. Like I said, that's about 8 feet wide, 8 to 10 feet wide. So we're realistically going to be going into the wetlands between 10 to 12 feet.
Okay, yep.
And how long is it?
We're going to try to keep it to 3 months.
No.
3 to 4 months.
Dimensions.
Oh, the actual dimensions?
Yeah.
Pulling a tape, it'll probably be around 40 to 50 feet long.
Okay.
So you're really just having to span, I'm pointing at my computer. you'll have to span this gap right here.
Yep. Yeah,
So probably between 20, 30, probably around 40 feet, 20 feet by 40 feet
okay.
to make a secure base, secure temporary road.
And
No, and then that's what we were kind of looking for, is the dimensions
Yep.
on the plan, and then just seeing what what that overall plan looks like, because I was having difficulty just trying to, figure, I mean, I understand the concept, is just that we need
Yeah.
to get a little bit more of a definition on the plan itself.
Sure. Yep.
I think my other thought on this too is, you're using this as an extension for the golf cart path there. It's going to be heavy machinery you're going to be traversing back and forth, is that my understanding?
Correct, that's your
So-
understanding.
So over time, in 3 months, I'm looking, you're going to compact a lot of that stuff. So that's why I was referring to my first comment about documenting this, because it's going to
Yep.
be quite disturbed, so.
Yep, I'm happy to go out there, document the existing conditions of it today, and I'll be happy to be held to that standard as well, once it's removed.
Okay, thank you.
And you're going to be looking at grading, is what we're seeing is the far side of the resource in this picture, right?
Yeah, it's hard for me to determine the exact amount of grading that's going to be required. But like I said before, the intent is to make it as minimal as possible, because we ultimately know we're going to have to bring it back to its original state.
So we're going to be looking at grading in the buffer zones there, right?
You're going to have to.
Grading in the wetland.
And you need this because you're not ready to put in the permanent one,
Right.
and you need
Correct.
3
Yeah.
months of work in this beautiful spring here. You're gonna go out there and excavate and haul dirt. I mean, what is the essence of what you're trying to do there?
The essence of the set scope of work that needs to take place on this side of the property, that is where a bulk part of the southern project will be. So, there's a solar farm on that side of the road. That's where our directional boring is going to be taking place. That is where all of our construction and mechanical pads will be. All of our underground electric and point of interconnection to the utility lines are on that side.
So you're
the property.
removing all the solar, or you're putting it in?
We're putting in solar. So if I go back to this drawing here, you can see all of this area here is all on that side of the road. All of this. So you wouldn't be able to access all this over here. Let's spin this a little bit.
So how much would you be able to access?
None of it, if I'm being honest. If that's why we brought it to this point, because that point completely eliminates that's the only point that is the least amount of impact to wetlands. You can see here, this whole area is all wetlands here, and that is the smallest and least impactful pinch point between the whole area.
And that's to get you to that one area where you're installing solar, like to the
Correct. Yep.
right. Okay. Yep.
It's also where we're connecting in the water lines. That's where we're connecting with the utility. That's where all of the battery and mechanical equipment are gonna be. It really is a contentious pinpoint that we need to get.
It'd be good to see is, I think Louis even mentioned it, right? A blowout box or plan, of that area, the resource, the buffer zones, the exact dimensions of the bridge, whatever we're gonna call it, and then, grading, you're gonna need some erosion controls, right? You're gonna be hauling dirt
Yep.
right uphill of the resource there. Particularly where there's gonna be excavating, I mean, it's gonna be pretty significant impact to the buffer zones and potentially the resource. I do think we need to have a more exacting look, exactly what's being planned, where, what the impacts are, if you can do that.
Piece of paper. Mark,
Okay.
tell him to put it on a piece of paper just about like this.
Yeah, 100%.
So old people can look at it.
Yeah, you and I are saying the same exact thing. You articulated it better. Yeah,
Doesn't this land butt up to Maple Street as well?
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So you can't come in off of Maple?
So it doesn't quite, if I go to, if I show you a Google Maps view here, this is where our pinch point is, right here.
Yeah.
You can't, there's a utility road here, but that is, it's really not accessible with construction equipment.
Well, neither is this spot that you want to put a bridge over.
Yeah. We looked at trying to use this area in here, and this entire utility road is also in wetlands. So it's a significantly more impactful area to try to really do anything. We were trying to just stay away from it because the road is in bad shape, and the vegetation and plants and everything over there. We just didn't want to impact those wetlands over there. It was more of a matter of affecting 20 to 40 feet over here or affecting 500 yards over here. So that's why we went with this proposed effort here.
Not to put too fine a point on it, but you've been approved to do this for quite some time.
That's a good.
Not specifically this work, no. Not
This
specifically the affecting wetlands in the way we're requesting
No,
right
but
now.
to
No, but I
Richard's
mean,
point, the
you
original
had-
crossing has got to be a couple of years old now, right?
Absolutely.
I
Oh.
mean, we're not really pushing the design on that culvert
Sure.
down there real
Yeah,
hard.
that's a legit point.
I'm just coming in as the
Yeah,
contractor at this point.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, now we're getting into the wetlands because the original crossing got sat on for 2 years and now can't be done for.
Somebody
3
said,
months.
oh, man, we gotta get moving.
Jesus, that's a good point.
Oh, well.
Well, look,
Point.
so I think the follow-up here is, can you give us a detailed plan on paper? This as we described, if you need that repeated, let us know, just so we can
Exactly
see,
what you're gonna do.
yeah, specifically what's proposed, what the impacts are, where the buffer zones are, erosion controls, dimensions of the mat, proposed excavation. I think, we'd really like to see the details on that if we could.
Okay.
And then, within that, also like how it's gonna be, mitigated, replicated, mitigated, put back together, in the notes.
Okay.
And that's, we asked that from other applicants as well.
That's a good point.
Okay, yeah, I'm willing to do that. I can put a more detailed plan together. I'll work with our civil contractor, who's gonna be the one doing the installation of it, pick their brain and get a more confined plan together on paper.
Okay, I think that's everybody good with that? Is it? Go for it.
I'd just like to ask Bricolai if you have any concerns with any impacts from the plan as we know it now.
With matting, no. I actually have high familiarity with matting. And as a reference project for the commission, Franklin Heights has matting. If any of you have gone out to Franklin Heights, off Trooper Paul Berry's way.
And the grading and everything?
Yep.
No
Yep.
concerns?
Not for me.
Thank you.
I definitely have conditions ruminating in my head, but no concerns right now.
Okay, thanks.
And to Richard's point, Bricolai, I seem to remember this was all approved already. No?
Not the matting, no, but yes, the project as a whole, yes, has been approved.
Okay.
Yep,
So we're just talking really about the matting right now.
Construction
Yeah.
But
sequence.
generally, yeah, part of the original plan had to have construction phasing and sequencing and a plan that didn't require this.
Well, the irony is, right, yeah, they did have that plan in the
Yeah.
southern part of the site,
I remember that.
but I mean, I think we approved this thing 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So they sat on designing that culvert until now, and now it's a hurry up and rush.
Well, that's why I asked Rika Lai if she had any concerns, because if she did, then.
Well, the matting's
So-
not a concern, that's a good way to build a road.
great.
Yeah, that works fine.
Yeah.
It's the fact
I-
that you have to do it.
Before, why is he engineering a new culvert?
So the culvert isn't new. There's two things, right? That southern part of the site is where the culvert's being
Yeah.
engineered. That was the original access, right? Where
Yeah.
that colored stuff is, if this is what you're asking.
Yeah.
So they haven't accomplished that yet, but they want to be able to get to those other parts of the site that culvert will ultimately give them access to, but that's going to be 3 to 4 months, or 3 months off. So this is Plan B that wasn't discussed as part of the original thing, that would allow them to do some work on the solar field while they're designing that culvert that was approved down south. Which, you know, I mean, if they'd gotten their acting gear and done that 2 years ago, we wouldn't be having this conversation, quite frankly, right? Does that answer?
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna go back to approved plans a couple of years, I guess. I'd like to read exactly what we did okay, and,
Yeah, 100% worth going back,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
But yeah, we spent a good bit of time
I
on
remember
this
that, yeah.
project. And I mean, it was permittable, so we went through it, but it's just, I find the timing unfortunate that we're kind of put in this position. But it's all right, we can address it. So,
I have 2 follow-up comments.
please.
Definitely not arguing starting construction in an appropriate amount of time. I will just note that only last year, the purchase and sale went through.
Fair
So even
point,
though it was permitted 2 years ago, just
fair point. I did forget.
nuanced, right?
Well,
And then,
that's germane.
Cut them a little slack.
but then I also just wanted to mention, while we definitely hope construction phasing and sequencing stays similar to what's permitted, in large-scale projects like this or industrial projects, it is common, once you find a contractor and you determine exactly how they're going to work, that changes. So there is there's a margin of flexibility there that I expect in projects. That's why we have permit modification avenues. So, I just
disagree.
wanted to also mention
Good
that.
feedback, yeah. And we're being open-minded,
Yes. Yes.
frustrated but open-minded, how about that?
I mean, it
Yes.
could have been an option
Yes.
where, like, something that came up is like, where they didn't disturb the wetland, that we're like, oh, that's even better, you know? So,
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
We would have,
So,
we wouldn't hear about it, but
Yeah.
it would be good. But, yeah, it's means and methods, and they, you know, sometimes you gotta improvise here. Yep.
does that answer your question,
Yeah.
Ron? Yeah, okay. Anybody else? So, anybody else? Good. Nicole, Matt? So, all right, so Andrew, so you'll give us more detailed plans on that? You're amenable to that, or having your civvies do that?
I will get you guys a better put together straightforward plan of exactly what we are gonna be doing.
All right,
Yeah.
perfect. We appreciate
Sounds
that.
good.
Thank you very much. You know, we do appreciate you
So-
coming and explaining it.
Yeah, no problem. And as far as next steps going forward, what does that entail? Do you want me to email that over? Do you want me to come back and sit on another call?
So-
Either option works.
Great question. So if you could get that for sure to us by noon next Thursday, which is the 2nd, right? That's the cutoff for us to have it under consideration for our meeting on the 9th. I know it's asking you to come in for another meeting. It's your decision. I think it's always helpful if you can come in or bring.
I don't mind coming in.
All
I don't
right,
mind
excellent.
coming
And bring your engineer, and yeah, go through it. That's always, we always find that beneficial. So that would be the recommendation.
problem.
Yeah, get us the plans before next Thursday if you can. That way we'll be able to have looked at them and be prepared with our comments for the 9th, and you can present and we'll talk it through and hopefully figure it
Okay.
out.
No
Does
problem.
that make sense to everybody?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Being a permit modification, I don't think we have to continue that, Brigalai, do we? No, so, okay.
No,
So-
and
so-
Andrew, you will not have to pay another filing fee.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yep.
all right.
And to get my plan in front of you before next Thursday, should I just send it to you, Brigalai?
Yes, please.
Okay,
Thank you.
no problem.
All right. Thanks for going through it, Andrew. We do appreciate you coming in tonight.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you all.
All right.
Get it.
Thanks, Andrew.
Let me share in here.
All right. And the final piece on the agenda is the March 12th minutes. Any comments or?
I had to read them.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I find I like read them pre every meeting, just to review stuff, so. With that, Louis, you want to give us a motion to approve the minutes of March 12th?
I give you a motion to approve the minutes for March 12th, 2026.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Matt,
Aye.
Nicole?
Aye.
Good, all right. Yep. Discussion, comments, Brigalai, I don't know if you wanted to talk about,
I had interviews for the admin position this week. That's all.
yep,
I haven't heard back on Emily, so.
so we're working through that, but we did have some live people, so that's good news.
Which is why I've been slow to respond, because my time has been spent in meetings.
Well, good meetings.
I actually had an update on Earth Day as well. I'm working with Native Plant Trust, emailing to find plants for your Earth Day event.
Excellent.
So we got that, yep. And then still coordinating with AgCom for the bee boxes.
Excellent.
And I saw your excellent flyer on LinkedIn. Thank you.
It was Louise, but
Wow.
yes, can't take the credit.
Thank you, Louis.
Don't thank me. Thank AI.
Just gonna say AI.
And then I have been playing phone tag with Tom Ashton, our consulting forester, all week to hammer out a schedule or scope of work for Riverbend. So I'm hoping to have that, well, I would need to have that for you by the next meeting to get any sort of alteration approved before April 18th.
All right.
Any news on the bridges?
Beta was out last week
They what?
for a site visit. Beta was out last week for a site visit.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So, if you can imagine, not just in Franklin, but all the other work that they have, everybody is picking up now, so it's been
I'm just
quite a
curious.
bit of a backlog.
We can always change it. We got 3 years.
All right. So, anything else? All right.
I think that's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I guess I can update the commission since it is public information. On the appeal, the Stobart's appeal, and please, well, I guess you don't necessarily have to refrain from public comment, but this is not necessarily a discussion item. On the appeal for 444 East Central Street, DEP has tentatively scheduled a site visit on Thursday, April 9th. So I will attend, as will your commission leadership. It is not a platform for us to opine. It is DEP site visit, so they will ask us qualifying questions, potentially. But we are there just to bear witness. So more details on that as they come.
So that's moving through the process, you might say.
Yep, it's moving through.
Question on that, if that's all right.
Sure.
The town council voted to revoke the LIP.
Yep.
Does that mean that they no longer get all those waivers from our bylaws?
I don't believe so. I'm not entirely certain on that. I know they're appealing ZBA's decision. I don't know if that revocation of the LIP bolsters their, it's difficult who they is. Town council's revocation of the LIP bolsters the appellant's appeal of ZBA. But at this time, ZBA's decision has not been overturned. So we're still operating that the bylaw has been waived.
It wasn't the deal that, I mean, the LIP enables it to be a quote-unquote friendly 40B, but it can still be a
Yeah.
40B and not.
Correct.
And without.
And ZBA would still be able to waive,
Right.
no matter what, in
Yeah,
any
so-
project.
So the 40B classification doesn't go away, it's just the town's support of it. Kind of an interesting nuance.
Well, but I thought if we don't need the 40B, because we're already above our 10%, then is it still a 40B?
That's an interesting question. I don't know the answer to that. But I think, I think the 40B classification means, allocating a certain percentage of units is affordable, right? But I don't think that's contingent. I think if you're over the limit, it gives the town different ability to manage the project, but doesn't mean it's not 40B. And I don't know, I'm just, from what I've learned, this is a conversation.
Bottom line is just, I was just wondering
Yeah,
if
yeah.
there's still,
That's a good question, Mike.
does the bylaw automatically get waived if the LIP goes away?
No. ZBA was still, no. And Chair LePage, you're correct, a 40B is a certain percentage of the units being affordable. Very similarly, a developer could come to a town that has over 10% and still pitch a project. It's still a 40B. You're right, the determination is if it's friendly versus not. An unfriendly 40B is when a town is below 40%, and then a developer comes and says, well, you have to be 10%. So then it's a free-for-all. Michael, that's a good question. I don't know how to answer you for the end of the process. I just know right now we're still operating that it was waived.
Okay.
Because no judge has overturned a decision,
Right.
so the decision is still what was still made.
Sure.
But, I mean, that question now opens the door for me is what happens now that we have the DEP request for a superseding order of conditions and we have a ZBA appeal? What happens if ZBA is appealed and then the bylaw would apply and then the superseding order of conditions would just be for under the Wetlands Protection Act, so the applicant would then still have to come back and permit under the local bylaw. So it's.
Messy.
We could be working on this thing for years.
Don't say that.
There was a lot of interesting conversation about the legalities that would come into play when the town council voted to repeal the LIP. I can't say I could explain it, but it was interesting to watch, right? Because the attorneys were, and Jamie were weighing in on what the impact of that would be. I mean,
Thank you.
yeah, if you watch that town council meeting, it was kind of interesting to see that.
Educational, because there was things, when they were describing things and how how it's, what's the definition of that, like, I think there's a lot of information that comes out of those, throughout the process, I'm sure, so, because there's stuff, I mean, I Google a lot of stuff, but it's good to have that information being, also, we're knowledgeable for everybody else too, because there's a lot of people that don't know what that was. Just like they you know, we try to teach them about what we do here too. Very so often.
You know, and I guess on a related note, so the whole property, you know, it was polluting that river for decades.
Yeah.
Like, I just want, are there any other places like that in Franklin that we can like get ahead of, instead of only finding out about it like after the fact?
Michael, why don't you go
I'm not volunteering.
walk over to every square meter of
So,
Franklin and give us a report?
The reality
That's
is,
a-
all of us as commissioners are empowered to,
Yeah.
you know, explore
Snow's
what's going
gone.
on in the town. I think you want to be careful about that.
Right.
You know, we're,
But it's unfortunate, you know, that it happened for decades and nothing happened.
yeah, or the site off of Grove Street, right, that's that.
The jewelry
place.
factory,
Holy,
super site.
yeah, the super fence is what I was looking for.
Yeah.
But, yeah, but it is kind of too bad it came to this, but.
Yeah.
Shall we adjourn?
Okay. Motion to adjourn.
I'll give you a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Good night.